Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm Elisa. I'm going to pull like 5 cards from this deck to get some overall energies for this reading, but I did pre-pull from some other decks, and yeah, I haven't done that many readings lately because I've been busy, but I just figured out how to like record onto my phone directly so that I don't have to like transfer. It's basically so I don't have to do any kind of transfers in it, so that it can go faster. So maybe I'll start doing more. I'm feeling the inspiration this week, so we'll see how it goes. Wow. So I've been getting a lot of blue skies so far. There's a reading, an old reading that I'll link to. Oh, I just broke the blue sky streak. Called Blue Skies on the Horizon. So I'm just gonna link it here because maybe it might be relevant. But at the bottom we got the Nine of Wands. So this is the Wounded Warrior card. This is someone who's just really been kind of beaten to a pulp, and they've just really gone through it, but they're still here, and they're still, you know, they're still hanging in there. So they haven't given up like they want to, but they're hanging tough. So then we got the 10 of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the 7 of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the 7 of Pentacles. So this is really interesting because, you know, for one thing, there's a lot of blue skies, and there's one yellow sky, but this is a sign of like slow and steady progress. So it's like slow and steady progress towards the blue skies is kind of what I'm getting. And it's like this guy's really been beaten to a pulp and like run through the ringer, you know, but he's like fighting for a cause, like, and that he believes in, and that's kind of why he's, you know, that's why he's hung in there. And so it kind of like, the message that's coming through here is like, you know, it's gonna be worth it, like whatever he's been fighting for, because there's this message of love that's coming in for this guy, you know. Finally, it's like he's had to stand his ground against all this nonsense, but finally, after all of this, that whatever he's been through, there's a sign of progress, slow and steady progress. And you know, the Knight of Pentacles is like builds things to last. So this is like, actually, this isn't like fly by night progress. This is like something that's like a solid foundation. And it goes right into the 7 of Pentacles, which is like, you know, this is like a gardener. This is someone who's like planted seeds for the future, and they're just, you know, they're starting to sprout up, you know. So it's like whatever this guy's been through, I mean, this really speaks to a story of redemption. So there's another reading from a few months ago called The Rawshank Redemption. I'm going to link it here because it might be relevant to the story. But so I pre-pulled from a couple cards, from a couple different decks. And then from the Animal Spirit, I got the Zebra, the Camel, and the Firefly. So this is interesting because it speaks to all of these 3 decks that I pulled from speak to this sort of similar theme. But the zebra is sort of this eccentric visionary animal who's just sort of like marches the beat of its own drum, you know, but like is guided by spirit, you know. And I mean, this is like a really pleasant character that everybody, you know, wants to be around, but has like some sort of unique perspective to offer the world, you know. And it's interesting because it flows right into the camel, and the camel is like, this makes me think of like in martial arts, one of the things they teach you is to like know thyself, you know, and that's your greatest weapon. And so that's kind of how the camel is. Or it's just sort of like the camel, you know, has its own tank of water on its back, you know, so the camel kind of keeps its own counsel. Like it's not so much dependent on like approval or, you know, what other people think, or has to go with the crowd. Like the camel kind of also like marches to the beat of its own drum, but has the resources that it can travel through the desert by itself and like be okay, you know, like because this this camel is pretty self-sufficient, you know. So there's somebody that's like has something really unique to offer the world, you know, and has the resources to like carry that through the desert, you know. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Firefly. So this is really interesting because this really speaks to like, it's like the light bulb, you know, like this moment of inspiration, you know, but the light that the Firefly, you know, offers, it's like fleeting. So it's like speaking to this great moment of inspiration, you know, but like if you don't capture that and harness that into something, you might miss the opportunity. So it speaks to this great inspiration and this great potential, but also I think it's like, you know, be careful how you handle this moment, because it's kind of make or break, you know. I mean, it's got to be harnessed in the appropriate way for it to like reach its full potential. So that's an interesting. So okay, so I'm gonna go with the animal. I'm just kind of going down, like I have the animal spirit, and then we're going down to the mystical shaman. So it's like kind of starting from a spiritual perspective and going down to the ground. So on the ground, the urban tarot will be last. So at the bottom of this deck, we have the curse. So this speaks to like a distortion, but specifically, like, you know, it speaks to like a family curse or like an inherited distortion, you know. So something that needs to be healed and like is blocking you from like success or abundance. So for example, like a scarcity mindset, or like a feeling of not being worthy, or some way of seeing the world that might be inherited. Like you could have inherited it from your family, so you take it as the truth, but it actually might not be. And so there's like this healing that's required in order to move past it. So we've got the coyote, completion, the smoky mirror, the sacrifice, and taming the wind. So this is interesting because the coyote speaks to like, you know, life's great detours. It's like things not really working out how you planned, but this is like a lesson from spirit. Like things aren't working out how you planned, and maybe because how you're seeing the world and how you think things are supposed to go there's a distortion there. And so you have to go through this lesson in order to correct that way of seeing things so that you can actually reach your ultimate abundance. So this could play out as like things not working out according to plan, or like a detour, and you having to be like stuck somewhere where you weren't planning on being stuck, until you learn this lesson, you know, because that's kind of really what's preparing you for what's next in your life. And like, to me, I mean, how this is playing out right now is like for the last almost 2 years, I've been kind of like stuck in this like profoundly abusive situation that was not my intention. And, you know, kind of wondering like, why is this happening, you know? But like realizing that in going through all of this, like all these truths have been revealed to me, and like, realizing that I've been living in this like injustice, like for my whole life without even really being aware of it. So like, it's like I had to come here and be in this space so that like I could have the opportunity to correct it, because it's like it's impacting me and my life and my energy, and I didn't even know that any of this was going on, you know. So yeah, it seems like this profound like detour, but actually it's giving me the opportunity to like heal the situation for myself. And it's like a profound life-changing thing that's happening. Okay, so the next card we have is completion. So this is a card of like the end of one era and the beginning of a new era, you know. And so it's interesting because it really speaks to what I was talking about. It's like, yeah, like it seems like I'm stuck here, you know, in this messed up situation, and like, why is this happening? But it's like this has to be healed so that I can move into the next stage of life, because this distortion is causing me to like attract these situations that don't serve me. And so like it's all happening for a reason, which goes right into the smoky mirror. So this this card speaks to like having a distortion, or things being distorted around you, and it's seeming like you're like in a hall of mirrors, you know, but actually you're being guided through this situation, and you're just gonna have to trust and have faith that the truth is going to be revealed to you in walking through it. It's going to be healed. So it's like a moment of like a lot of discomfort, you know, because you're really going outside of your comfort zone, and having to have faith. But actually, the truth is coming to light. So it feels very unsettling in the moment, but you know, it's actually for like better, larger cause, you know, that you're going through all of this. And you kind of have to like upset this apple cart in order to heal it. So this is kind of this moment where you're just like, what's going on, you know? And then we have the sacrifice. So this speaks to you know, having to give up something and offer it to spirit, you know, something that means a lot to you, but knowing that in doing that, it's going to be returned to you like tenfold, you know, whatever you've given up. So like for me, for example, like right now, like I've had to put my life on hold for this family situation, and I've been taking care of my mom with dementia, which has been like this huge sacrifice for me because, you know, like I have a life and I have a career, and like my career is actually at this really pivotal moment, you know, when all of this happened. And so it has taken a lot of faith for me to offer that up. But, you know, what this card is saying is like everything that you've given is going to be returned to you, you know, and it's going to be returned to you like tenfold greater than whatever you sacrificed. And then we have Taming the Wind. So this is a card of like co-creation with spirit. And, you know, the feather speaks to that. But it reminds me of the story of Forrest Gump, because, you know, he like had this profound connection with his mom, and, you know, he was led through life by spirit, you know, and so it's like he was never necessarily like a, you know, he didn't have like this great intelligence in the sense that a lot of people would think, you know, but he had this relationship, and whenever he was at this pivotal moment in life, these feathers would fall from the sky, and he would know, you know, which way he was meant to go. So he ended up living this great life of achievement, you know, because he had this maybe kind of intelligence that other people didn't have, you know. So anyways, on a spiritual level, like, that's kind of the story that's going on. So it's really interesting because, you know, this person's really been put through it. So when I go to the Urban Tarot, like the on the ground reality, we got art. So this is like the card of Temperance in the traditional deck, but I love how it's like this graffiti on the side of a New York City street in this deck. And, you know, this is a card of alchemy. And it's interesting that it fell right under this curse, and that they kind of like match, you know, schematically from the color. So it's like, wow. And when I picked up the curse, we got the Sorcerer, which really, you know, that speaks to like this distortion, you know, like, and the havoc and the pain that this causes, whatever this distortion is. But like, this speaks to whatever this is being brought into balance, you know, and it speaks to like alchemy and like transforming pain into like some kind of profound blessing, you know, which is really interesting, because I feel like that is a message that's coming through in all the decks. It's like there's this moment, you know, this great potential that's being released, you know, in transforming this pain, but like only if it's handled appropriately, you know. I mean, you can release all this pain and cause more pain, you know, but if you can harness the power of the pain that's being released, and transform it into something positive, you can do something profound, like profound for the world, you know, and this great blessing will be returned to you. So then we have the Sun, we have strife, we have the Ace of Cups, we have Chariot, and Valor, the Seven of Wands. So this card again, it's kind of having to stand your ground against something. And then we have the Ace of Swords. So it's like there's this blessing here, you know, which I keep talking about. I mean, this is like everything that you could possibly want, you know, happiness, abundance, fertility. There's this child, you know, that's, you know, being sort of blessed by the light here, you know, but there's this strife, you know, like there's something that's blocking this profound blessing, you know. I mean, this could be whatever this distortion is, you know, so it could be like, I mean, this is like it like kind of reminds me of Star Wars, you know, and it's like this fight of good over evil, and like having to overcome whatever that distortion is, that's blocking it, you know. So it could be a scarcity mindset, or feeling of unworthiness, or jealousy, or anger, you know, whatever that is, but that has to be overcome, you know, to get to to this blessing, this love, this profound love, you know, but someone is sort of taking control of this situation. This is a Chariot. This reminds me of West Side Story and the Jets, you know, like, but we're taking, it's like, we're taking control of the situation. And, you know, we're standing up for what we believe in here, you know, with valor and strength. And the truth is being released. The truth is being shown. So this really looks like this came up in the last reading, but a moment of truth. So I'm going to have to link the last reading here, because there's something about a moment of truth in the last reading. And it really speaks to having to really harness the potential of this moment appropriately, and it being like a very important moment, like a turning point in someone's life, really, you know, depending on how you handle the moment. So I'm going to go to the Oracle of Seven Energies and pick a final card to end this reading. See if we can get any kind of advice about how we might handle this profound moment. All right. I got two. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we got Wish Upon a Star, which just reminds me of Cinderella. And I have a whole thread about Cinderella that I'm going to link here, because I think this might be related to that storyline. But yeah, like I'm myself playing out this storyline of Cinderella in life. So we've got a powerful move, and we have Divine Matrix. So, I mean, what I'm getting from this is, you know, trust and have faith that things are going to work out. You're being guided by the divine. And you're gonna have guidance and help with whatever this powerful moment is. I'm gonna read the message from a powerful move, because I think, like I said, this is an important moment and needs to be handled appropriately. A powerful move, key moments, action, movement with purpose, effort, putting into motion your intention, making choices from an empowered and thoughtful place, positive change. The time for rest is over. Change is in the air. This is a powerful time when deliberate action is needed to move your intentions out of the realm of thought and into the material, from ideas into action. How do you approach your relationship to the invisible world as it influences the visible? Do you see the relationship? Do you recognize yourself as a unique, whole, and worthy being who has a special place in the world, whose offerings are valuable, and whose life has meaning? You are a mighty co-creator, so step into that power and see your intentions manifest in the world. Real positive change is possible when you make choices from an authentic sense of self and take a conscious step towards your dreams. To take steps towards your intended experience, start first with the way you think. Let the curiosity be the focus now, and display a willingness to discover new things instead of confirming your past expectations. Be open, be clear about your motives and desires, and set your intention. Then step into the magic, just waiting for you to claim it. Traveling, moving, flowing, flying, whatever describes the changes in your life, know that these are called for now, and act with thoughtfulness and awareness, and remember to be true to yourself. What is called for now is doing the thing that needs to be done, and all will be better than well. What an exciting time indeed. Wow, this is really interesting, because the last reading, which I linked to earlier, oh, this matches with my shirt too. That's pretty cool. It was just talking about how there's this sort of like conflict, and there was someone who was sort of like trying to control the outcome. And there was another person who was like manifesting and working and co-creating with spirit. And like that was ultimately going to work out, you know? And so I feel like this is kind of confirming that message. Like there's this, you know, divine matrix. If you have the power of that behind you, like things will work out. So just trust and have faith. If you've been manifesting, if you've been co-creating, and if you've been working in alignment with the highest good, things are going to work out. So, but there is this big moment of truth that's like happening. So, have faith, keep the faith. You've been working towards this moment for a while, and this is just sort of the moment when everything that the divine has been working on your behalf is going to be revealed to you. So good luck with that, and we'll check in soon.